Hi, everyone. So this week we're going to look at contemporary views of leadership in organizations. Here we're going to talk about a couple styles. We talked about them a little bit last week, and these should help you also with your lecture discussions. Here we have the leader-member exchange model. This stresses the importance of variable relationships between supervisors and each of their subordinates. You got your in-group right here, which gets a little bit more information, and you got your out-group over here. And really what this model does is suggest that leaders form unique independent relationships with each of their subordinates. But, also really it's not the exact same. And that goes back to the in-group versus the out-group. So the in-group often receives special duties requiring more responsibility and autonomy. They may also receive special privileges such as more direction about work schedules. The out-group receives less of the supervisor's time and attention and are likely to be assigned the more mundane tasks the group must perform and not be in the loop when informed and sharing. The Hershey and Blanchard model is based on the premise that appropriate leader behavior depends on the readiness of the leader's followers. Subordinates' degree of motivation, competence, excellence, and interest in access and responsibility. So as you can see in this graph, really what this curve does is it suggests that the leader's relationship should begin slow and gradually increase and then decrease as the follower readiness increases. But the leader's task behavior shown by the straight line should start high when the followers lack readiness and then continuously go down as they gain readiness. So really what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase your interaction and decrease their readiness. So there's a couple leadership styles. Again, like I said, this helps you with your discussion. There's transactional leadership, focus on routine, regimen, and activities. If you do this for me, I'll give you this, quid pro quo. Don't get this mistaken with the unhealthy version of this type of relationship, which is the Me Too and all those types of things. That is a very unhealthy quid pro quo type of scenario. Transactional leadership can be healthy, relatively speaking. It's much more, like I said, just for the routine and for the regiment. But it's, okay, if you work on this project and you finish it, I'll give you Friday off. So that's the transactional leadership. That's the healthier version of a transactional leader. Definitely not the other type. Then we have transformational leadership, the set of abilities that allows the leader to recognize the need for change, to create a vision, to guide that change, and to execute the change effectively. So transactional leaders, again, they just focus on goals, use the rewards and punishment for motivation. If you don't do this, then you're going to lose your vacation time. Reactive and are very reactive in nature. Transformational leaders, they focus on more of a vision. They use charisma, enthusiasm for motivation, and they're more proactive. So more big vision type leadership as opposed to just the tasks. And if you have any questions on these, the difference between the two, just let me know. So we have the attribution perspective on leadership. This holds that when behaviors are observed in a context associated with leadership, different people may attribute varying levels of leadership ability or power to the person displayed those behaviors. So, what are the traits that you might have? What are the perspectives that you have? Teamwork, support, power. Really, what do you bring as a leader? And how does it change? So we have charisma. We spoke about this in transformational leadership. It's a form of interpersonal attraction that inspires and supports acceptance. So charismatic leader is a type that influences based on leaders' potential charisma. So two very notable ones. I won't go into current affairs because we're like a few days away from an election. So I'm pretty sure everybody's going a little crazy on that one. So let's look at some of the history. A charismatic leader in a positive sense would be Martin Luther King. Still is very, very, his words are used in our daily lives not daily lives, but we know who he is. He was able to draw a crowd. He was able to share his charisma and create a following and a movement. On the unhealthy side, a very charismatic leader was Adolf Hitler, who was able to um, charm basically the German people into creating one of the worst genocides in human history. So the charismatic leader is characterized by three fundamental attributes, illustrated here. These behaviors result in envisioning, energizing, and enabling. Charismatic leaders can be a powerful force in any organizational setting. Again, there's the healthy and unhealthy version. So with any type of leader, there's healthy and unhealthy. Envisioning is articulating a compelling vision, setting high expectations, modeling consent and behaviors. Energizing, demonstrating personal excitement. Hey, let's do this. We can win this. We can make something amazing. Seeking, finding, and using success. Enabling, expressing personal support. Emphasizing, expressing confidence in people. Leadership substitutes, individual tasks and organizational characteristics that tend to outweigh the leader's ability to affect subordinate satisfaction and performance. This is a situation where leadership can really be irrelevant. Let's say you trained your employees to handle customer issues. Then really the leader is unnecessary within the scenario unless it escalates and continues to go any higher. Leadership neutralizers, they focus on the render ineffective and leaders attempt to engage in various leadership behaviors. Think of a conveyor belt system or assembly line to where the technology and how quickly it goes down the assembly line really can uh, not hinder, but restrain the leader from being able to do anything outside of that efficiency restraint. Mentor is a role of helping a less experienced person learn the ropes of to better prepare for career success. A lot of you have reached out to me about career advice. I recommend definitely reach out and try to find a mentor. If that could be me too, I don't mind. But mentor helps give you motivation, coaching, support, helps you identify what your goals are. And your mentor can change throughout your career. Your mentor could be somebody now, and then in 20 years, technically, you could be their mentor. It's not like a lifelong contract. So, strategic leadership, the capability to understand the complexities of both the organization and the environment and to lead change in the organization so as to achieve and maintain a superior alignment between the organization and the environment. So, thinking, it goes back to that transactional leadership style. It's just thinking ahead, influencing. Can't talk about leadership without ethical leadership. And no, as a Orthodox Christian school, something that we should always keep in mind is even if you are not a member of the Orthodox faith or even of the Christian faith, just definitely find your moral compass and stick to it because um, when humanity sways off of the ethical path, first, you're probably going to get arrested. But second of all, is it the world you want to live in? Virtual leadership, this is pretty today, right? So virtual leadership is, using distance as technology is a different skill set because that charisma has to be in a virtual setting. It has to be within that kind of limitations that the Zoom, the call, things like that would hinder. So virtual leadership is definitely a newer skill set, but it probably will be here for a while, and it's definitely the future. So get used to figuring out how to. So in virtual leadership too, I was listening to a podcast this morning for the Wall Street Journal, and they were talking about how and even there's another thing I was watching about universities and going online. You really just have to be more proactive. You have to schedule things. You can't accidentally run into somebody and think that you can start a conversation. people's time is more valuable. And unfortunately, you all know when you're at home, there's probably more things that go wrong in the house, and you got to take care of those, right? So definitely be proactive. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck with everything this week. Don't forget to turn in your assignment. That was due last week. We're turning in this week because of whatever glitch happened with Papuli. And we'll talk soon. All right, ciao.